we focus on the urban public space improvement, sustainable urban planning, solid waste management, and smart city issues. We also do something like a health city, low carbon city, and a green city.
Hello, my name is Siddharth Chatterjee, the United Nations Resident Coordinator in China, and welcome to Delivering as One, a UN in China conversation. In this podcast, we highlight the heads of UN agencies in China who shape our diversity, discover their motivations, and find out about their work here on the ground. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Zhang Zhenshan, UN Habitat Program Manager for China. Mr. Zhang, a Chinese national, joined the United Nations in China in 2009. Mr. Zhang, welcome to Delivering as One.
Thank you, RC.
So let's get started. Let's understand your early life, your education, your work, and tell me more about growing up, your studies, and your early career.
Thank you. I was born in 1962 in Shijiazhuang City, a capital city of Hebei Province. It is south of Beijing, about 300 kilometers. So I had my primary school and high school in that city. And I enrolled Harbin Architecture and Engineering College in 1979. My major is industrial and civil engineering. Later, this college merged into Harbin Institute of Technology.
So you actually studied in Harbin?
Yes.
Such a nice place. I visited it. It's a beautiful place.
Yes. Now it's very hot for the winter tourism.
Yes.
Yeah. After that, I graduated in 1983. So in that time, we are not look for the job. It is assigned by the university. So I was assigned to the Ministry of Construction. Now it is called the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development.
Got it.
So I was in the Department of Urban Management and Construction. So I was in the division called Environmental and Sanitation. So that is responsible for the solid waste management and also the public toilet. We mainly make the policy to improve the work in the
sanitation area.
Yeah, sanitation in the whole country. So we make a good progress in that time. So we try to make policy to support the workers in this area. And also we have some policies how to improve the solid waste transportation and disposal. And also the public toilet at the beginning was terrible. So that affected the tourism. After our efforts with the whole nation, so it's now much improved. So I studied the English at the spare time. So I improved my English, and then I was assigned to the Department of International Cooperation in the ministry.
I see.
And after several years' work, there is a cooperation project called UN Habitat Beijing Information Office. That office mainly is translate UN Habitat publications to introduce the global policies to China. Because in that time there is no internet, not so many ways for get information. So that helped.
So you have to rely on these books that are published by UN Habitat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that distributed to the different provinces. So later I was appointed as the director of that information office in earlier of 1996. After almost 1 year, so I was again sent to Nairobi.
Oh, really?
And at the same year, in October 1996, as the deputy representative to UN Habitat.
I see.
I worked there for 5 years, and mainly is to join the Commission of Permanent Missions, so to discuss how improve the work of UN Habitat. So later in 2001, I applied to work for UN Habitat, and I got the offer to work for oil for food program in Iraq.
Oh, really?
But I could not immediately join the program, and earlier of 2002, I went to Iraq to implement the project there.
So were you in the north or in the south?
I was in the north.
In Erbil?
First, I was in Duhok,
Okay.
and later I moved to Erbil.
Oh,
So
I see.
almost all the work.
You know that I spent time in North Iraq too.
Oh,
I used to be in Sulaymaniyah.
okay.
I was the field delegate in Sulaymaniyah
Oh, okay.
from 1998 to 2000 June.
To 2000.
So you came to Iraq after I did, but
Yeah,
very
yeah,
interesting part
later,
of the
yeah,
world
yeah.
to work in.
Because I was the logistic officer.
Right.
So I in charge the warehouses.
Got it. No. And I know that Habitat had a big warehouse in Dohuk and Erbil.
On Erbil, also Sulaymaniyah.
Correct.
I also went to Sulaymaniyah to
Right.
check the warehouse there.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Yes. After the war, the program closed.
Right.
So I returned back to
So
China.
how long were you in Iraq for?
2 years.
2 years, okay.
Less than 2 years.
Okay.
I was there. I also in charge of the security and some other issues.
Right,
so I returned to China after that work.
From Iraq?
From Iraq.
Okay.
Luckily, that UN Habitat started a program called the Water for Asian Cities program. So they need some consultant. Because I worked for UN Habitat, they recruited me to be the consultant to implement the Water for Asian Cities program.
Wow. So this was in Beijing?
This is in Beijing.
Great.
So, but the project is in Nanjing. So I travel a lot to Nanjing. But later I was appointed for the same program called the Chief Technical Advisor. And so I in charge of the program. So later we developed the project in Kunming and Mianyang City.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Wow, how interesting. So that way you served in Nairobi, then you served in Iraq, and then you came back to China.
Yes.
Awesome.
So later in 2008, so when the ED, Executive Director of UN Habitat, visited China for Olympic Games, and so we...
Was this the Tanzanian lady?
Yes, it's Anna...
Anne Kaberuka.
Yeah,
I know her quite well.
Yes,
Kaberuka,
yes. So he appointed me as the UN Habitat Program Manager for China.
Excellent.
So it effective from 2009. That's why you introduced. I joined the UN Habitat 2009. Yes. So since then until now, I'm the program manager for China. I have a one-person office. Now we have a 7-person office now.
So well, that you actually what you've said is just built into our second question. That how did you eventually come to work with the UN in China? So that's clear. So let's go to the next part.
Okay.
What does your organization do to support the people of China, the country's priorities, and the UN family at large?
Yeah, you see that UN Habitat is mandated by UN General Assembly to sustainable development of towns and cities. So we are the focal point for the urban issues in the UN system. So UN Habitat works in China mainly on implement the sustainable development goals and new urban agenda. So we focus on the urban public space improvement, sustainable urban planning, solid waste management, and smart city issues. We also do something like a health city, low carbon city, and a green city. We work together with other UN agencies like WHO. We work together for health city issues. We work with UNICEF on the child-friendly cities project. We also organize some international forums, conference, workshops to promote the exchange experiences, know-how, and lessons in the national, regional, and global level. Right. So thank you for your joining us last year in Weihai.
I was very impressed. That is what I was going to say. I thought Weihai but the trip to Weihai was very impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive. I thought
your
Habitat
support.
is doing some.
We hope this year we have you continue for the second session.
Absolutely.
So I hope if you have time, you can join us
I
again.
have to say that I was very impressed with the work that Habitat has done in Weihai, and how that city has really turned into a sustainable city and a model of that.
Yes, not only in Weihai, we also had 6 sessions in Chengdu for international sustainable urban development.
Right.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so then let's talk about the beneficiaries and the leaving no one behind. Could you provide some insight on the key beneficiaries of your organization in China?
Yes, Habitat in China is a little bit different with our teams in other countries. In other countries, they do some physical project like road, house. But in China, our work in China is mainly normative works, so guidelines, policies, and best practice. So we provide policy advice to the government. It includes regional and local governments. We also work with some partners like local city government, universities, design and planning institute, and research institute. So we work together to improve the urban sustainable development. So if you say the beneficiaries, I think the end beneficiary should be the citizens and the villagers. The people, but mainly is through our partners, together to do this work, implementation. Yes.
Excellent. Great. So tell us, identify some of the remaining development challenges faced by China in the coming years, and how your organization as part of the UN family in China will assist China in the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes, after 45 years faster development, China's urbanization rate is about 66%. This rapid development, they have achieved big progress, but they still facing some issues, such like urban renewal, such like climate change, such like with the development of smart cities, they also facing some gaps with old generation, or they cannot use the equipment or this kind of things. So that we would like to work together with other UN agencies together to focus on the low carbon development to meet the challenge of the climate change, and also work to support the smart city development, because nowadays that technology can help the city more sustainable.
Great. Okay, so tell us, what is a day in your life like, from the time you wake up in the morning to you go to bed?
Yeah, it is difficult to say, but the typical day is normally wake up in the early morning to prepare the breakfast. After that, we take the bus or sometimes metro from west of Beijing to the east, because our office now is in the Jianwai diplomatic compound.
Right.
So that in the office, normally we meet with our partners to discuss how to cooperation and how to mobilize fund. And then also I also guide because most of our colleagues are the new joined colleagues. So we will discuss how to implement the project and management of the project. And then go back by bus again. Yeah, it's quite.
What about some sports
day.
Or other activities?
So within nowadays I focus on the walking.
Okay, good.
So that this month I think every day I can account for more than 9,000 steps.
Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you're keeping yourself fit.
Yes. So you can say it's not so fat.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so tell us, what does delivering as one mean to you?
Yes, this is we're always thinking how is deliver at once, because our topic is deliver as one. So I think that UN, although we have some diversities, but we are very inclusive. So we have the same goals like SDGs. We have some common understandings. So I think we also, under your leadership with UNRC and UNCT, we also, I think, under your arrangement, we have the joint program. So I think all this very good to deliver, not individually, but we as a UN, we deliver together.
Mm-hmm. Great. Last question. So what do you think makes a good RC, an ideal RC?
Yeah, I thought this question. I realized that you are now a model RC.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, yes, sincerely, I'm not joking. I saw you have make the RC role, play a very good role to lead this whole country team to make a very good progress with cooperation with Africa, cooperation with internally to support China. We also now have a meeting with stakeholders and particularly the state members based in China, so we can understand their requirement, so we can deliver very good result.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much, Zhenshan, for sharing your story and sharing your time with us today. If you would like to learn more, visit china.un.org or follow the UN in China on our X and Weibo accounts. Join us next time for another installment of Delivering as One, a UN in China conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish you a wonderful day.
Same to you.